American cities are going broke, and what a better way to get us at the pumps. Yes, cities with multi-level layers of government are going broke, and why? Well, the mass exodus of middle-class people that used to pay taxes in those states. What are we talking about? The blue states of America. Washington, Oregon, California, New York, New Hampshire. All those states, all the blue states, ironically, are having a tough time filling their coffers or making ends meet, creating more government jobs and saying they're creating more jobs, but they're not really when it's public sector. Nobody cares about public sector. It's about the private sector, the mom and pops that got pushed out of the blue states via housing affordability and other issues. Go back to housing and you'll find the truth of everything. Follow the money from the housing and you'll get even further truths. So what are they doing? They're getting you at the pump. This is from the Daily Mail. Look what they're reporting right here. The Daily Mail. Gas stations in Washington program pumps to prepare $10 a gallon fuel as Bidenflation, which is kind of shocking that they're blaming Biden because they everywhere else usually just blames Putin for this, right? Sends the average price soaring to $4.57, almost twice the $2.41 during the Trump's final month. And that's the Daily Mail out of the UK. This is like the fake news out of the UK. That's weird that they would be throwing that out there. A national gas station chain is programming its pumps in Washington state to accommodate the possibility of $10 a gallon gasoline. The average price of gasoline across the country reached $4.57 on Wednesday. So let's take a look at it right there. So there it is, a little bit of video playing here in the background, but that's okay. And there's the gas prices here. I've been getting a lot of photos. Thanks, guys, for sending me these photos in via email or Skype or whatever. Meanwhile, other gas stations in the States have begun running out of gas supplies. Sorry, oops, it's openings this Save on Foods ad here. So running out of supplies and gasoline as pumps run dry. So we talked about that on the old fuel embargoes and the embargoes that they had back in the 70s. When gas stations were running out of fuel. We're talking about that on, I think, the last or the Mike of the night before. Gas prices in the United States, national average of $4.57. So if you look at here, these blue, it's the blue states that are basically right here. All the blue states are under attack because, again, I believe a lot of these cities are going bankrupt because a lot of the middle class people that pay taxes in these states have left through a mass exodus. And I believe that it's getting worse. And what they're going to do is they're just going to hose you at the pump. Even though oil could stabilize, it reminds me of that video I made almost 10 years ago where the price of oil goes to $20 a barrel, but the price of food still goes up. Let's check the time machine on that. So here it is, folks, on the channel Time Machine. So where'd it go? I just saw it. Oh, see, price of oil dropped, but food goes up. Oil prices go down, but food rises. Eating out is unquestionably pricey. So the price of food, for the longest time, back 6, 7, 8 years ago, they were telling us that the price of food keeps going up because the price of oil reached 120 or 130 US dollars a barrel. So people believed in that. And I thought, okay, well, the production, the exporting, the price of... If you go back 6 years ago and look at the markets, price of oil was heading to $20 a barrel, but the price of food kept going up because you couldn't hide the inflation. Now, my point I'm trying to make here is in these states that have had these mass exodus, channel Time Machine. So we've been discussing mass exoduses on the channel for years, connecting the dots, Canadian middle class disappearing, target to closing Canada. That was what year was that? I don't know. That was years ago. Young families leaving big cities 5 years ago. Look at this. Canadian brain drain. Where's American stuff? Give me some... Escape New York, mass exodus. That's only a year ago, though. Let's see if I can get stuff that go back. Let's see here. Seattle housing crash, mass exodus, affordability disaster ahead for Seattle. Again, there was a blue state and a red state one I made years ago. I guess it's gone. It's in here somewhere. So it's in here somewhere, but it's in our time machine here. But where I made the blue states... red states invading, blue states invading red states. And what's happening, well, here it is. You look at the blue states of America. We talked about Washington State. All right, so if you look here, you'll see that housing crisis, massive housing crisis, housing disaster ahead in Washington State, more money arriving from overseas into Seattle. I love the frantic pace right here. This is why gas is going up. Runoff Chinese money. Seattle invaded by investors. Portland housing now unaffordable 4 years ago. So this is an issue where the middle class American families that paid the taxes, that built the infrastructure for these cities, are no longer living there because they were forced out due to affordability issues, because the blue states used and built homes basically to export them to China or export them to foreign money laundering investors. And that's the big problem that we had in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, and the blue states of America. And then now they're going to get you at the pumps, even though oil could go to $2 a barrel. And that's why they're not turning on the oil production here in the north, to keep it so that cities could find a way to tax you to death and hit you at the pumps. Think about it, guys. Think of my theory. Hopefully a big channel could take this and run with it, because it makes a lot of sense. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.